This thing is absolutely god tier for house, pop and disco bass lines. Excite Audio are back with another banger of a Bloom instrument. This time with bass groove, you'll hear a ton of soulful bass samples that have been taken from professional performances, ready for you to shape and mold into your own thing. You have 250 presets over 7 different categories to get started with, and these range from quite clean, smooth bass lines all the way up to some quite experimental stuff and everything in between. As usual with the Bloom instruments, the white notes are cut into key and tempo matched phrases for you to perform yourself, and the black notes on the lower octave can be used to mess with playback properties such as speed and pitch. You'll also hear that the black notes on the higher octave are triggering phrases, and of course everything is locked in the key that we've selected. As is customary with Bloom instruments, we can refine every detail of the sound using the edit page. You can see here I'm just changing the start and end point of this loop we have that's preloaded. We can set the playback to go in reverse, which is always fun. We can set it to go forwards and backwards when it hits the start and end point. And we've also set it to loop here. Playback speed can be normal, double, or half. So that was, of course, double. And that's half. I also really love the formant controls here. We can assign different samples to choke groups, so this can be helpful if you've set a bit of a higher release time and you don't want any overlap. Also something that, in my opinion, no plugin is truly complete without, we have a randomize button. One click of the random button and it will pull from one of the many loops and one-shots that are included and map them across the keyboard. I'm using different white keys at the bottom, and each time I hit the random button, they're all completely replaced with different samples. And the best thing about this is, of course, everything is still key matched, so we can hit the random button a bunch of times and just come up with some super creative new bassline ideas really easily. Let's talk about the effects. We have 4 unique macros on the main page. These are tube, digital, the sub EQ, and realism. We also have 3 effects at the bottom of the edit page. Let's start with speaker. We have 3 different modes to choose from here. I really like this cabinet one. And this hi-fi one too. We also have an envelope filter for audio reactive frequency shaping. We have 3 modes here, the low cut, high cut, and peak. And we also have the dynamics effect, which is for transient shaping, gating, and general compression. You'll also notice for all 3 effects, we can open up an advanced view by clicking in the top right, so that gives us some more controls to play with. We also have some global controls like filtering, tone, and we can mix our dry and wet settings too. With the intuitive phrase player, we can switch between riffs, styles, and articulations effortlessly. So you can see here I'm triggering a phrase by hitting the B flat on the higher octave. And we can mess around if we want to change the sample that plays on a few of these. We can also automate the effects here, so I can just move these points. I can click to create new points on the timeline as well. So you can hear the speaker effect is now following the automation path we've just set it. So if you want to include clean grooving bass lines in your tracks and add a little flair, make them something of your own, then I'd highly recommend Bloom Bass Groove, and I'll catch you in the next one.